Hello, hello. We have today very special guest from Brazil, Alina M. She is a spiritual healer and she will explain us more about what she is doing here in Mallorca.
Hi, I am Aline, and I am a spiritual guide and healer, facilitator, yoga teacher, many different ways of doing my mission here. As a spiritual guide, I support people in their path of expansion. I talk a lot about building solid foundations for spiritual growth and soul fulfillment. Spirituality has become a kind of hobby these days. People are doing all kinds of different work without going deep enough into anything. Spirituality does require a little bit more commitment and discipline so the energy can build up, that we keep repeating and going deeper into the practices so we can unfold different layers that all practices have to give us. Another consequence of doing too many things as we're doing now is that spirituality has become kind of a hobby, fun experience. But this also means that because we're working with so many different energies, not all energies go together and they can actually make it harder for us. They create some disturbances in our energy field since nothing is really building up. So what I make sure with my clients is that they stay on their path, that they're doing the practices that it is right for them. I channel exactly what practices they need to do to unlock their current blockages and challenges. And in this way, they can keep on progressing with guidance. And as a healer, I work with energy work. So I provide different types of healings depending on what the person needs. I offer more than 10 modalities online and in person. Some of them are more activations, connecting people to their soul. So that creates a stronger channel of light so that they can be more themselves. And others are the most traditional ones like Reiki and crystal healing, absolutely. But even more, Egyptian aura clearing and protecting people from evasion and cutting emotional cords is quite a broad work in a way, because I feel like I can literally talk for 10 minutes just about what I do. But it all comes down to being who you truly are and anchoring your divinity. Yes.
You have a workshop that call Open Your Heart. Why do we need open our hearts?
Well, we need to open our hearts because we're not in our hearts. We're scared of loving and being ourselves. We live in a world that thrives on fear. I think everybody can resonate with that to a certain level. But how much driven by fear we are, few of us are actually aware. We make much more choices based on safety than on expanding and how much joy we can feel. We are actually somehow afraid of having too much love and joy in life. If you think about it, those moments that you're like full of joy and it's so exciting, it's so easy for us to start thinking about something negatively right away or thinking that it won't work out, like we shut down. It is so much energy, love and joy are so much energy in your pure sense that sometimes we don't know what to do with them. So I focus so much on living from the heart because we are here to be joyful. Life is about joy and expansion, and of course work as well in our progression and expansion. It's both sides, but we're here to enjoy the ride in a conscious, connected way.
Very good. In modern world, we overload with information. Do you have any tips for us how we can help ourselves?
Yeah, we are living in a society that is cluttered, right? It's a lot of information, not only like just walking on the street or the ads that we get, but on social media, the overload, but as well self-created, the amount of worries that we have, the fears that we have, that congests our energy channels, congests our minds and our hearts. So it is important for us to be able to let go, to reset. That is how we can create more spaciousness in our life. So we're not only taking in, but we also let out. There are many ways to do that. We can breathe deep and breathe out and make sounds. Sound is a super energetic way to move energy that is inside of us so we don't leave that energy stagnate. So, or just singing and shaking and dancing. practices that allow us to let go. Yoga is also a great example of it. So having this consciousness of what is it that allows us to let go. That is not necessarily sleeping and resting. Sometimes the best way to reset is not to just lie down, but to do practices that actually support our system to declutter and stagnate.
So I heard like your main practice is Tantra yoga. Please tell us what is Tantra yoga.
Yeah, that is one of the legs of my work. Tantra yoga comes from traditional Hatha yoga. Hatha yoga is quite famous in a way, and although it's not the one that you see mostly in studios these days, Hatha yoga is a more connected to spirit type of yoga. I say that because these days yoga has become a sport. We do it for fitness. We do only the asanas. The postures of yoga are a very small part of what yoga really is. And in Hatha yoga, the point is to connect to the divine, to ourselves, through the practices. How are these practices? Of course, we have postures, but we do them in a more meditative state, staying longer in each pose so we can create more awareness of the energy that is actually moving in us. Specifically in Tantra Yoga, we have even more awareness of that. As we hold each asana, we are actually focusing on specific energy centers so that stars. I don't remember which one I told you.
Telling me about the mystic schools.
Oh yeah.
And when you was a child, you like.
Oh yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Yes.
Yes. That background. Yes. Absolutely. My background as an energy healer didn't start directly like that. It wasn't like, I want to be a healer. It was more like I grew up facing certain spiritual issues. I could hear entities every day, not when I was a small kid, right? Because many people can hear things when they are children, but as they grow up, they disconnect from that and stop with that sensitivity. What happened to me when I was 11, 12, 13, 14 years old, I could hear voices every night. And it was quite traumatic in a way because it was scary voices. It wasn't voices that wanted to be my buddies and play with me. So that created very early in my life an awareness that there was something more because I saw that nobody else around me was listening to this. And I knew I was not crazy, even though I was quite self-conscious of sharing those experiences with other people, thinking that they would label me crazy. But what happened because of those experiences is that I started having this very strong question from an early age: what the hell is this place? Because it was so clear there was something that didn't meet the eye, that not everybody could see, and it was so real to me. And that's what started me to investigate and be more connected to spirituality as a way to not only understand what was going on, but to protect myself from what was not allowing me to sleep, very simply. And that is how magically, as normally it is when we are on this path, certain schools started coming to me. They're called mystery schools. These are old lineages. Some of them go back to Egypt, ancient Egypt, and they're initiatory based. These are schools that prepare you to learn what this place is, to understand how energy works in a very consistent manner. It is really like going to school, first and second grade, as you go into different initiations, which is very different from how many people see spirituality, where you just go to a bunch of different workshops and try to make sense of it, but nothing really comes together. Mystery schools make sure things come together. They give you a very good, solid foundation for working with it. So I joined my first one when I was 14. And as I grew up, I joined other ones. I've joined 4 throughout my life, all initiatory based. And it was through those schools that I learned healing modalities, because as we progress in these schools, we start learning how to share our gifts with others. And it comes a point in our progression that the only way we can progress is through service, because at the end of the day, we are one. And the way for us to progress, it doesn't matter if it's only me. It starts with me creating the awareness and taking care of myself, but at some point, as we're just one, it is my duty to help other people so we can actually progress together.
Very interesting. You also said that you clean houses like energetically.
Yeah.
Why do we need to do that?
So I do different things in houses. One thing is that I can just clear whatever is in there. And another thing is that I install crystal grids with certain rituals so that the place becomes a temple and can hold higher frequencies at all times. The clearing, it's not different from cleaning our house, sweeping and dusting. Things come all the time. It's like just as dust comes, it just happens. It's not like you are not taking care of your house. It will still happen. We all carry more energy than just our energy. And as you invite people to your place, or as you come to your own place in different days, depending on where you were, with who you were having contact with throughout the day, you yourself bring different energies to your place that not necessarily are the most supportive and loving ones. I'm pretty sure you had the experience of going to a place and feeling like, I don't like the energy of this place. But I'm pretty sure that same place other days had days that the energy was really good. It's not a constant. And it is about the work that we do on the place. We can all clear and make a place dirty, physically and energetically.
Wow, now I know I need to clean my art studio. So you have workshops here in Mallorca. Would you like to tell us information about them?
Yeah, so last weekend I had a workshop about heart connection called Connect to the Heart. That it was beautiful. Thank you so much for being there.
I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
Yes, and I'll probably redo that one in February. I don't have the date again, but it will probably happen again. And right now, starting tonight for the next 4 Fridays, I'm offering Tantra Yoga. So it's 4 different classes. They're all independent, don't have to come to all of them. And each one of them focuses on a different chakra. Today we start with the root chakra. Next Friday, the 27th of January, is the sacral chakra. The following Friday, the 3rd of February, is Manipur, the solar plexus. And the last one, we're going to the heart. The idea of those workshops is to first introduce to Tantra Yoga. What is this type of yoga that is not that normal to find everywhere? So give a touch of what this is about. And together with that, energizing specific centers according to your needs. And I'll probably have a workshop called How to Say No in February as well. Also to be booked, yes.
I think everybody have to learn how to say no. Okay, thank you so much for such a wonderful interview. I will put information how you can find this wonderful lady on Instagram. I will put all tags and you can ask your questions directly. Thank you so much.
Thank you.